Well, I read this in one sitting. Into the Wild by Jon Krakauer. This book was really kind of hit home. This is a really powerful book, and the writing style Jon Krakauer I was very impressed with. I didn't expect it. And the way he told the story. This is a story about a true story about Chris McCandless, who became estranged from his family and really kind of estranged from the world in a sense, and went out to find meaning to life and meaning to everything. And he basically forsook all the privileges that he had going for him. I mean, he went to college, he had a promising future, was really, really intelligent, and he decided to just kind of live the life of a tramp, basically, just going around, wandering around the country, and eventually ending up in Alaska. His dream was to live off the land, have this great bonding experience between him and nature, and maybe somehow find the meaning to his life, or find the meaning of life, period. It hit home with me because I have one of the things I feel that this book really, one of the themes I feel that this book is really laid heavily on is forgiveness. And you always got to be careful when you judge. I mean, I'm not that very close with my father, and I saw a lot of parallels, and I love going into, I find peace when I go into the woods as well, and when I kind of unplug from this crazy world. I was impressed on how he ended the book, and just the way he weaved his own story of what he had gone through, and compared the story of Chris McCandless, AKA Alex Supertramp, to other explorers, and it was really well done, and it's such a quick read. I mean, I just literally sat down and read it in one day. It's only like 100 and something pages. Almost 200 pages, something like that. But I'll read a passage. I don't know where to begin. I mean, one thing is for sure, I haven't really read anything by Thoreau, so I'm definitely going to read some books by him, and they do a bunch of quotes from different books that I might, and I kind of want to read Jack London again. I read Jack London when I was in high school, way back. Actually, junior high, I think, is when I last read it, Call of the Wild. And I think I'm going to read that. I might even read it next. I don't know. I want to kind of read more of the classics as well. So let's dig into this. McCandless quickly became enamored at Carthage. He liked the community's stasis, its plebeian virtues, and unassuming mien. The place was a black eddy, a pool of jetsam beyond the pull of the main current, and that suited him just fine. In other words, it was a town that was kind of off to the side of society, kind of in its own little section of that great river of society, in a sense. I don't know, it was really cool. I thought that was a really neat way of putting it. Let's see what else. And this comes from a quote from another book, and he tends to begin his chapters with either quotes from books that Chris read and had an impression on him, or just quotes that Jon Krakauer, I guess, added And I'm going to look into this. It's the author's Edward Hoagland, and the book's Up the Black to Chalkystik. It's spelled Chalkyitsik. It sounds like an Indian name, obviously. Chalkytsik. Chalkytsik. That's what it is. Up the Black to Chalkytsik. I don't know. It's not important. The quote from the book is just pretty cool. We have in America the big two-hearted river. Tradition, taking your wounds to the wilderness for a cure, a conversion, a rest, or whatever. And as in the Hemingway story, if your wounds aren't too bad, it works. But this isn't Michigan, or Faulkner's big woods in Mississippi for that matter. This is Alaska. And I just thought that was, I don't know, I thought it was kind of a cool quote. And I'll do one more. And I'll put, it is hardly unusual for a young man to be drawn to a pursuit considered reckless by his elders. Engaging in risky behavior is a rite of passage in our culture, no less than in most others. Danger has always held a certain allure. That, in large part, is why so many teenagers drive too fast, drink too much, and take too many drugs. Why it has always been so easy for nations to recruit young men to go to war. It can be argued that youthful daring-do is in fact evolutionarily adaptive, a behavior encoded in our genes. McCandless, in his fashion, merely took risk-taking to his logical extreme. I want to watch the movie again. I know there was a lot of stuff in the movie that wasn't in this book. You know how Hollywood has to be. Has to throw the dramatic flair or put in a political point, considering it was Sean Penn who did the movie. I highly recommend this one. I want to talk more about it. Alright, guys.